So, jumping into this speed painting. There we go. In all honesty, I thought for basically 2-3 days now that I've been missing something, you know? There has to be this hidden assignment or something that I just haven't been doing. And I completely just was like, am I missing something? Do I have something due for a class or something like that? No, I did not. So instead, I did some cross-stitching, and I also managed to whip out a piece. Not the best piece that I've done, but we do some experimentations, and I had fun with the concept of it. So yeah, we are getting into this speed painting. There are these really interesting pair of glasses I found here on Pinterest, and I thought, wouldn't it be funny if it was sort of like a censored bar, but they're censoring the wrong thing? So that's sort of why it's at first it was gonna be she should be covering her mouth because she's cussing, or she's gesturing the middle finger. But yeah, I thought it was a fun concept, and this is the I don't give a crap what you do, or the very confident female character. So yeah, there were a few things that did baffle me about this piece. First off, hands, don't quite understand them. No, that's a lie. This was fun. I was fine with the hands. Pose was a bit questionable, but we do work it out and whatnot. The head is a bit weird, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's not angled correctly, so the ear and jawline it's too smushed. Looking back on this now. But I do play with a different skin color, because usually I go towards Caucasian just because it's easier to color, and that's what I'm more familiar with. So we try a different skin color, different posing, and I also didn't understand boobs, so I didn't know how to draw them, especially at this angle. So I don't think I actually looked anything up for it per se. I just sort of was yes, they sort of look like this. So yeah, that's basically the whole rundown. At first I didn't know the race of this character, but now I do. Well, I know skin color, and I looked up references. I did a little quick little Saphir just to decide what colors things should be, and then I just went for it. So yeah, it's not my best piece, but it was a fun piece. I think that's what matters, and I learned a few things like skin tone. A very basic skin tone, but yeah. Plus, the concept was pretty fun, so, I mean, how could I complain? And also, I've never done these types of clothes. It's like a tube top with a skirt, supposedly a skirt. But yeah, you'll notice that the skirt flares out at the back too much, but because she's supposed to be walking and whatnot. But I do change that afterwards because it just didn't look right, especially with the cropping of the character. Didn't understand how arms worked. I know, shocking. But yeah. So I hope you guys have been doing well, doing all right. What else am I thinking? Oh, I do remember what I was thinking. So I think it's very interesting for people to choose, especially if they like something like art, or I would assume music is like this too. But the really interesting thing about choosing something that you're very passionate about, this is serious things. It's really interesting because on one hand, you really love the subject, like art, for example, doing whether it's oil painting, character design, and whatnot. you love it so much and you go to school for it and you want to do a career out of it, which is great. You need that passion and you need that drive to really like make a career out of something you love so much. But you do stumble across this weird thing, especially when you start off. So since I'm in graphic design, it's not as artsy as this per se, but it does take up a lot of creative thinking and a creative energy that by the time I want to do something fun, which it used to be like drawing or like arts and crafts and whatnot, by the time like I come and I want to like do something relaxing, I just can't do what I usually do anymore because I've spent all my creative energy and whatnot in my schoolwork or design work that I need to do. So it's this really interesting situation that's going on. It's great that I'm still able to make some pieces and interesting things. But yeah, that is something that you do face. And I talked about it with my instructor today actually. And he's like, yeah, that's why you need sort of like two varying creative outlet. He chooses art and music. And then it does get easier when you start learning how to get inspired instead of being dependent on inspiration just springing to you. So I think that was a very interesting and it was a good talk to talk about because he's like, no, this is absolutely, like, I get it. It's absolutely normal for this to happen to someone. But yeah, so I would say if you do or if you are in school for like art and you love doing art on your spare time or as a hobby or something, but you feel like you're sort of losing touch with it, look into a hobby that is outside of creativity or at least outside that style or range and like keep doing it, you know, like when you want to do it and whatnot. But if you feel like you're really in a rut, especially creatively, it might be time to pick up a different hobby, like, I don't know, sewing or like axe throwing. Just another activity so then you can release that energy and sort of relax and ease when you want to, but also keep like doing art and whatnot because that's your creative outlet. And sometimes I think the really good thing about being in graphic design, but also like in character design and whatnot, is that there's sort of two different branches, so I don't have to stare at typography when I want to do my hobby. Or I don't, like, I get to exercise the creative thinking that character designs or like landscapes and whatnot, like more fine art, I guess, designs, exercises compared to the things we do in typography or graphic design. So I think it's interesting, but yeah, lately I've just been exploring different things. In a way, I want to do the linoleum cuts thing, which is like you're making stamps, but I also feel like that takes creative energy to make up designs to do. So I'm exploring things, you know, I'm just walking about around the city and whatnot and just taking a little break here and there from art and just creativity in general, because sometimes I just want to follow an instruction or let my mind go numb by just like doing cross-stitching by a pattern or something that's repetitive or something like that. So I thought about doing diamond painting, which we'll see what happens, you know. But yeah, so that's basically something that you might want to look into, like just picking up a hobby that's outside of your usual thing, especially if you do art as a hobby and you're going into art or design or something like that. Just a little something to stretch your brain a bit more, to relax when you need to, because you could get burnout and whatnot, and burnout sucks. So yeah, I do have another piece on the go, so that will be exciting. I don't know when it will come out, but I think it will be quite interesting. So keep your eye out for that. And then I also have the linoleum print design that I do, but I'm waiting till I finally finish the linoleum cut, so then that way I like, it's just done and you guys can see what it looks like digitally and then what the final product actually looks like when I print it. So yeah, I hope you guys stay tuned for that, and I hope you guys looked forward to it. And yeah, this piece was interesting. I would love to redraw it in the future when I do a bit more studies, because I need to. And I think that's it. So take care of yourself, stay safe, stay hydrated, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.